what was supposed to be a bang of a protest ended up ending on a whimper. The so-called People's Convoy recently announced that it was time to pack up and go home. To which I say, of course, womp womp. Sad. Co-organizer of the American trucker protest, Mike Landis, announced on Sunday that the group has decided to pack up its things in the coming days and drive back to California. He said during a recent, I guess, speech or announcement, "So what I want to know is, what do you think about heading to California?" "Sounds like a great plan," one convoy goer yelled back. Okay, so that's how they're doing things. Fun. Now, Landis further said that convoy goers who remain posted up in Hagerstown, Maryland, who have experienced many freezing nights while camped out in the small town an hour and a half north of D.C., will enjoy a southerly route back to California. "We're going to take a little more southern route, so it's a little warmer than this." He then pledged to come back and finish the job in the metro area at some unspecified time in the future, which, of course, press X to doubt will never happen. Sure, Jan. Sure. Yes, the truckers, they're going to come back. Yes, of course, yes. Now, this announcement comes after lead organizer Brian Breeze fled Hagerstown over some drama that's happening within the group, to which, of course, he replied, "I'm not running away. I'm not running away." In a speech, he's told the crowd on Saturday night, "Yes, I'm not running away, even though I'm running. I'm out of here, gone. Going away." Sad baby. Now, look, I mentioned there's some drama, and so let me give you a little bit of that. Over the past 3 weeks, a convoy had struggled to gain traction with any lawmakers in Washington, meeting with only Senator Ted Cruz, Ron Johnson, and a handful of insane House Republicans. No Democrats met with them because why would you? First of all, their demands are no more mandates for vaccines and masks, which we never had federal mandates to begin with. So, there's that. Why would you meet with them? And then, of course, why would you meet with people who think you're Satan? I mean, I'm just saying, like, okay, how did you think that would go? Really? Oh, they need to hear the demands of the people. And what's going to happen if those are the so-called representatives of the people that spout off a bunch of insane anti-vax QAnon nonsense? Come on. Of course nobody would meet with that. I mean, again, you can't get rid of mandates that don't exist. Was there an issue to get federal mandates for vaccine and masks? There was, and it didn't work. So they didn't work. They're not there. It didn't exist. And in fact, you have a lot of places that had mandates that have been rolled back in many different cities. And so again, you have a situation where these just don't exist. And we're winding down anyway because the COVID numbers had in some way wind down, at least after the surge of Omicron. And so, look, by the way, we still do have deaths from COVID-19 going on. They're mainly among the unvaccinated. So, there's that. But back to the trucker protests, right? So look, it's obvious that they weren't welcome there. They've been hilariously trolled by average DC residents, flipping them off. I did that story. One of their convoys were blocked by a bicyclist, blocking traffic better than they ever could. But look, the real thing, as hilarious as that was, the real problem is that they didn't have a goal. They didn't know what they were doing. And so they just kind of fractured. And that's it. During the final week in Hagerstown, 2 of the medics left and they begin to factionalize over those who between those who believed the convoy was corrupt and those who thought it was not corrupt. So at the end of the day, you had no morale. The money had dried up. The $2 million that was raised for the convoy was eaten up by fuel and supply costs for them driving around the Beltway aimlessly for days. And so what do you got left? You got nothing. And by the way, the only people that they helped out were Shell and ExxonMobil by them having to buy so much gas or so much fuel. And so, wow, well done. And that's while the press, the media, for the most part, ignored you because there was actual stuff going on. Like, Putin's invasion of Ukraine. Just saying. And by the way, their dumb protest was ignored. I actually think that they should have the right to protest. I never said that they shouldn't. I'm saying that their protest, while they can and definitely should be allowed to, even going so far as to blocking traffic. Yes, I know, not a popular thing, but if the left can do it, and I've advocated, and said that, hey, look, protests can be pretty uncomfortable. Yeah, well, they can do it. Well, so can the right. There shouldn't be any different rules to protest, so long as you, of course, keep it peaceful. But even though I support the right to protest, I can still say that their protest was dumb. They were not fighting to make life better for average truckers. No, they weren't. There were no demands about wages or benefits or working conditions. No, this is all about fictitious mandates and COVID-19 health measures, which are now very, very weak or in many places completely lifted. So at the end of the day, the protest has broken up. It's going its separate ways. And at this time, next week, everyone's going to forget that they were ever there.